That was fun. Nothing like a walk-off, huh? What a way to win a series for the boys. Y'all smash the like button. Let's get started with this here. There's plenty to go through. Wasn't the prettiest night offensively. That goes without saying, but when you needed it done, you got it done, and that was beautiful execution in the ninth inning when it comes to baseball. I mean, that was perfect. And you were able to do it for a couple of different reasons that we'll get into. Part of it is where you were in the lineup. And it was great to see Josh Pearson come up with that massive hit. There's a lot to go through, and we will go through all of it. What's most important is the Tigers got themselves another series win. LSU takes a massive step towards making the SEC tournament tonight in this ball game, which is obviously huge. You had a great bounce back from Luke Holman, saw him really extend. You saw a great outing from Gavin Guidry, which was a massive positive for this team out of the bullpen. Nate Ackenhausen looked good before he went down. We'll wait for Jay Johnson to give an update. We won't do any speculating on that when it comes to health. Y'all know I don't like to do that. So we'll wait for the word from Jay. No, he probably won't say anything. He's very coy when it comes to injuries. So then we'll do some digging. The main takeaway I have from tonight before we go through the ball game is, y'all, that's the one they needed to learn how to win. That is the one they needed to learn how to win. I don't think it could have set up any better for them. Like, I'm happy it went that way for LSU. I'm happy it went that way. Would it have been great if they just came out and dominated Auburn tonight and ruled them? Sure. But it needed to go that way. They needed to learn how to win that ball game, and they did. Look no further than the eighth inning. Like, I know I said we'll go through the game and whatnot, and we will. I'm going to jump ahead to the eighth inning, and specifically the top half, because that is a spot that has haunted this baseball team. Haunted their dreams, their daydreams, just their everyday lives. That spot haunted them. You had 2 men on, a close ball game, 2 outs in the eighth inning at home. Florida, Vanderbilt, like, I don't need to go through the list. Y'all know. For them to get off the field in that spot was massive. You're looking for something to build confidence for this team, the top of the eighth inning can do that. You didn't get it done in the bottom half, that's fine. You send them back out in the top half, that's, and you get, again, a little bit of trouble, but you get out of it, and the bottom half was great. So let's run through it a little bit kind of just from jump. And then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the end of it there. I mean, look, Luke Holman comes out, and it was a great first inning, 16 pitches, had a strikeout in there. Like, he looked really good. When I look at Holman, I see tonight, fastball up was great, and we know how good he can be when he has that pitch, and he had it. They used both of his breaking balls really well, I thought, tonight. You saw the curveball a lot early off the fastball, and then it looked like they went like more towards the slider later in the game, but the fastball up was the key. When he has that, he can really dominate a lineup, and he did that. And like that's something that has to be said. And we talked about it in the preview. I know what Auburn's record is. I get it. Their problem has been pitching. Their offense is good. Did you catch a break with Ike Irish being out this series? Absolutely. But Cooper Weiss is good. Stanfield is a great hitter. McMurray's a great hitter. LSU's pitching has done great this weekend, holding that lineup in check. Like, when Auburn has scored, they've scored in bunches this season. LSU has not allowed that. Luke Holman got you off to a great start. And again, I loved the way that they mixed his pitches. Walks were a little bit of a problem for him. That led to some runs. You had the bunt early in the game. I believe it was the third inning. It was a perfect bunt by the kid. Holman should have just put it in his pocket. It was a great play for him to get to it, but he should have put it in his pocket. He didn't. Throws it up the line. So you have a bunt single and an error that gets the guy in a scoring position. Ultimately, he comes home on a I guess they ruled that a wild pitch, but it's a ball that got through Milazzo. And that's how you get their first run. But other than that, he gave up one more. And only one of them was earned. He was great. He struck out 9, 113 pitches. Like, the grit that Luke Holman showed tonight, y'all, to go back out there into the 7th and get you 2 outs, that was massive. Like, that was massive from Luke Holman. So just, a great bounce back from him. It's what you wanted to see. offensively, and actually one more thing, and you've seen it, right? That's the third time now he's struggled on the road and has come back home and it's been great. You'd want him to have a little bit more consistency on the road, but you'll take it. So from there you go to Gavin Guidry. Guidry comes in, strikes out 2, but only gets 1 out. Looked like he mixed in a changeup tonight as well, and the fastball velocity was up for Guidry. I mean, he popped 92 a couple of times, which if he can do that with the hammer breaking ball, and again, like I said, it looked like he mixed in a bit of a changeup. All right, then you're really getting somewhere. So I was really encouraged to see that from Gavin Guidry. And then we talked about Ack and Thatcher Hurd. I mean, Hurd comes in. That's a tough spot to come in, but you go to a veteran arm and Thatcher Hurd, who's been through the wars. He comes in, 1 pitch, 1 out. I mean, that's what you want. Now, it was hammered, and it was a great catch by Pearson, but it's 1 pitch, 1 out. Like, you go to a veteran in that spot. When you lose a veteran on the mound, you go back to one, and Thatcher Hurd handled it. He handled that great. Offensively for LSU, not great at bats most of the night. A lot of uncompetitive at bats most of the night, and that was disappointing because LSU, the way they did it on Friday night, right? They had non-competitive at bats early, but they really figured it out against the bullpen. They just could never. They just. I'm hesitant to really tip my hat too much to Auburn's arms. I mean, they did perform well. Like, Cam Tilley was awesome tonight out of the bullpen. It was throwing gas. Like, his kid was up to 95, 96 with a good breaking ball. But he also had like an ERA of 7.5. So obviously there's been something wrong there. So I think it's probably a little bit of both. That's what was disappointing about LSU's offense tonight is you didn't have competitive at bats, and they didn't really get better until that 9th inning. So let's talk about the 9th inning. It was just beautiful baseball. It was beautiful baseball. A great at-bat from Milazzo. 2 strikes to stay square, use the middle of the field, drive it. That was huge. He gets on. It's the perfect bunt spot, and LSU executed it great. You had the top of your order coming up. They pinch hit Kling to let Bingham bunt, and this is a spot that they put Bingham in last night, and he popped the bunt up. He didn't do that this time. When everyone knows he's bunting, when the third baseman's crashing so hard that he could be going through Mac Bingham's pockets, like that's how close he is to the home plate, he bunts it right up the first base line like he's supposed to. You advance the runner, and Ashton Larson comes up. I don't know how many more times we're going to say it. He's next. Like, he's next in line at LSU. He's going to be a star. 3 more hits tonight. The only reason he didn't have the walk-off, he hit the ball too hard. Like, if he hits the ball softer, he gets the walk-off single. But you hold up Milazzo at third. It was a great hold there. So now you have a runner at third base, less than an out, and Tommy White at the plate. Like, I can see why you go and execute it the way that Jay did, and it was the correct move. It was the right move. White strikes out, and that was wholly unacceptable for that guy to strike out in that spot, but it happens. You walk Jared Jones, hat tip to Butch Thompson. That's the correct move. And Josh Pearson. You love to see it for a guy like Josh Pearson. What do we always talk about when we talk about Pearson? They trust him, and that's why. He has the catch in the 9th, and then in that spot, when Tommy White, again, who should never punch in that spot, punches, and they walk Jones, you go to another veteran hitter, and a guy that they trust, a guy that they love, a guy that they believe in, a guy that has come through with clutch hit after clutch hit down the stretch for LSU year after year after year after year. That was a little too many years. He's a junior, but you get the point, and he does it again and smashes it over Stanfield's head. Somebody should tell, but actually no one should tell Butch Thompson this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe don't play your outfielders so shallow, because that's twice now a double has been laced over their heads late in the ball game, and this time it won LSU the game. So flawless plan in the 9th, flawless execution. That was small ball to a T, and it was beautiful, and it got LSU the win. Great win. And maybe you're starting to see this team build consistency. I'll say it again. That's the way they needed to win a ball game. They needed to learn how to win that one. They did. Now, we can talk about the S word. We can talk about a sweep and where you look tomorrow. it's interesting. Starting pitching is going to be something. It's one of two guys for me. It's either Javen Coleman or, as many of y'all have brought up in the chat, Griffin Herring. I do not think it will be Griffin Herring. Jay wants one of his best arms out of the bullpen, and I fully understand. Yes, Herring can extend 100%, but here's what you have to remember about these games. These games have been very, very, very close. If you throw Herring and you start him and he gives you 75, 80 pitches and he only gets to a lineup twice, you're looking at the whole back half of a game left that you have to fill without your best arm in a close game potentially. So I think they go Javen Coleman. I think Javen Coleman will get the start. It wouldn't surprise me if Griffin Herring got the start. It's not what I would do, and I don't really think it's what Jay's going to do either, but it's an option that I would be like, okay, I memean, he's been your best. But I think they go Coleman and have Herring waiting in the wings. Yes, Joseph Lee, Coleman has been shaky. I understand, but I think they want to see Herring out of the bullpen. It's what they've done all year, except for the one midweek start he had against North Dakota State. So that's what I think they do there. Offensively, I want to see it resemble a little bit more of Friday night as opposed to tonight, a little bit more competitive at bats. Steven Strahan, start Dutton. I would be A-okay with that. You've used him as an opener before. That was his freshman year. I would be A-okay with that. Like, I want to see Sam Dutton pitch anyway. And that's the other thing. You have plenty of arms left. It's just, when do you want to throw your best? Do you want him to start, or do you want to have him to be the hammer out of the pen and end it like you had against Missouri? Y'all do me a favor real quick and smash the like button. There's over 200 of y'all watching. We're not even at 30 likes. Y'all smash the like button. That'd be very, very helpful. So after whoever starts, Herring, Coleman, Dutton, Hurd can come back. I mean, Lure hasn't pitched. You haven't seen Ulloa. Could you get something more out of Christian Little again? You have plenty of arms. Like, LSU obviously is in their best position to sweep a series because it's the first time they've won the first two games. But I don't think you could ask for a better position given the fact that you have just about a full complement of arms available. Josh Carlos said, how are we feeling about Kling? Not good. This has been a bad weekend for Paxton Kling. It has been. That's upsetting to see. Because we highlighted him in the preview. We highlighted him in the preview as somebody you wanted to see continue to stay hot, and he just hasn't. And that is disappointing. Marcel Joseph brings up Anderson. Yes, Anderson is an option. Maybe not to start, but definitely could see mound time, of course. I mean, that would not be different. That's an option. Cade Anderson is an option at some point tomorrow. So again, you have a lot of options on the mound. So you're in a great spot. Like, you are in a great spot. It's going to be a hard-fought game, though. Auburn's been really good. But one reason you're in that, and Joseph Lee, that's a good point. Anderson did throw 60 pitches on Tuesday. That's a lot of pitches. So you wouldn't probably have much out of him. I think Anderson's pretty low on the list, too. And it's nothing against Cade Anderson. Like, the kid's going to have a great future. He's got great stuff. He's got the third highest conference-only ERA on the team. So I think he is lower down the totem pole, but he is absolutely an option for you as well. The starting pitching this week has been awesome for LSU, and that's why you're in this position. Gage Jump and Thatcher Hurd. Gage Jump and Luke Holman have pitched like the front of an SEC rotation this week, and that is why, ultimately, LSU is in this position. Better late than never, but this is what we all thought it would look like this year, where your pitching carries the day and the offense does enough to get wins. That is what has happened the last 2 days, and that's what's going to have to happen for them going down the stretch, obviously. But this has been really, really impressive on the mound. Each of them got you into the seventh, and Jump got you through the seventh. So each of them had a great mix of pitches this weekend. Your starting pitching has looked this weekend how it did when you were heading into conference play. And that is right now my biggest takeaway from this entire weekend. We'll see what tomorrow holds, but right now that's my biggest takeaway. They left a lot of guys on base. That's the disappointing part. It was the at-bats with guys on base and runners in scoring position that weren't great. I mean, what was that? Was that the sixth inning? I think it was the sixth inning. You had the leadoff double from Pearson, And John Marston, I am not drunk. I am very sober. I would wish I was a little tipsy, but I am not. There was some day drinking that took place at an engagement party earlier, but we're good. You distracted me, John. I don't know what I was talking about now. The leadoff double from Pearson. I think that was in the 6th inning. And, he gets stranded. You have another double with less than 2 outs that gets stranded late in the ball game. So, it just it wasn't great, but yeah, Cortland Jacob, they might have been trying. They were definitely pitching him carefully, Tommy White. He said they were trying to walk Tommy in his last 2 at-bats, and he struck out. Fred says about Ackenhausen, hoping it's his back. Yeah, man, look, like I said, I hate speculating on injuries, but the fact that they let him throw pitches, probably a good sign for the arm, but a back injury can be brutal too, or a leg or whatever. Again, I said I didn't want to speculate, so I'm going to stop doing that. But just a great win. Y'all got any questions here while we wrap this up? Again, smash the like button if you haven't already. Get subscribed to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. That would be that'd be greatly appreciated as well. Subscribe from your favorite podcast app as well. Man, what a great win, y'all. I'm proud of that team for that tonight. That's big. They won the one they needed to learn how to win, and they did. How can they carry that forward? Larson leadoff, Gulf South. Auburn scored both runs on errors, right? No, only one of them. It was two runs, only one earned. So the other run was fair game. I see a lot of y'all asking about Larson in the leadoff spot. If I make a change in the leadoff spot, I'm putting Braswell there. We talked about that earlier this week on the podcast. I think it was after the Nichols game. They've been very comparable, really, in their statistics. I know Kling's had a bad weekend, and there's no debating that. But they've been comparable players. So if I'm going to make a change there, I'm going to put Braswell at leadoff, and he was your opening day leadoff hitter anyway. So obviously that's a spot that they're comfortable with him in. That'd be the change I make. Parker G, I saw you ask my opinion on Corey. Corey's the coolest guy in college baseball. It's obvious at this point. The guy's awesome. Just every time Tommy White comes up, man puts on a hard hat. It's freaking epic. And I love the guy. He's got a great personality. You see the interviews with him? He's awesome. So yeah, we're a big Corey show. Marcel Joseph, how is Missouri doing this weekend in Ole Miss? Glad you asked that. That's a great question. And here's your answer. Missouri got swept in Knoxville, which was very predictable. So they are buried, and you hold a tiebreaker over them anyway. And Ole Miss lost a series 2 out of 3 to Alabama. So that's what I'm saying. LSU, we started the show with that. LSU winning tonight, that just is a giant step forward for them making it to Hoover. It's not a lock, obviously. You got 3 weekends left. But Fred says we haven't lost since Corey risked his life for the team. Hey, how about that? Rally Corey? Is that what we're going to go with this season? But, yeah, LSU's in a great spot right now for Hoover. And that's, you were competing really with 3 teams for those spots. You've taken series from 2 of them. That's what you had to do. You control your own destiny, and you're doing great at that. In that regard. Man, y'all, that was a hell of a game. That was a hell of a ball game for the rally concussion. Cortland Jacob, I like that. I like rally concussion. That might be what it has. Brother, you better trademark that and start printing T-shirts. That's pretty darn good. So I definitely like that. That's a good one. But, man, that was fun. That was one of the most fun nights at the box. That was one of the most fun nights at the box. Cornholio, I'm not loitering. I'm working. We're doing work right now, man. But that was one of the most fun nights of the season. That was really, really good. They needed that. And I'm excited to watch them build on it tomorrow. Again, y'all smash the like button. Get subscribed up to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, get subscribed up on your favorite podcast app. Y'all be on the lookout tomorrow for the full weekend recap. We'll have you locked, loaded. And hopefully we're talking about the S word tomorrow in that full weekend recap. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.